This show is brought to you by iRacing.com. Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Darin and I'm here with a review of the RSeat S3 by RSeat. And you can kind of see it. I have it attached here to my 42-inch Vizio monitor. And some of you may have seen the old stand that I had in the background, and it was also developed by RSeat, but honestly, it was so unstable that I told them this and I didn't want to review it. I did end up using it for a long time, but I had to put these weights, and they're pretty ugly, as you can see, rusted out pieces of metal that I found in this shed in a house that I had purchased about a year ago. But it held my monitor in place for the most part. Man, if you touched it, the thing was gonna topple. So I had to be really, last thing I wanted to do was to tell you guys about it and have you purchase it and be disappointed with it. So they obviously went back to the drawing board and came up with this new design, and I'm going to tell you all about it, but it's 100 times better. As a matter of fact, I can show you here. That monitor's not going anywhere. Sure, it'll wobble a little bit, but you would expect that. But anyway, let's get down to the specs, information about it. Going to tell you the box cover stuff, and then tell you pros and cons, rev scale, final thoughts, that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's available at many of their distributors across the world, both in Europe and here in the US. And I believe there's a Canada distributor. So anyway, you can pretty much get this anywhere in the world. It supports up to a 65-inch monitor. Its design allows the user to place the wheel right next to the monitor to give you great visibility or great field of view. And here's some specs on it. Stable, and this is from their website, by the way. Stable and rigid construction, fully adjustable in any direction. Footprint dimensions are, and this is width, dimension, and height, 1350 millimeters by 685 millimeters by 1000 to 1250 millimeters, and that's the height depending on where you have it adjusted. This is at the lowest setting, by the way. Or 53.15 inches by 26.57 inches by 39.37, or up to 49.21 inches in the height. Two color options, black, which I have here, or a white matte. All the hardware and tools to attach the screens are provided. Now, this is what it says on the website, but there's one adjustment where you need at least a crescent wrench to hold on to this bolt. And I guess you don't have to tighten that bolt because you have two other bolts at the top that would keep it in place. So you really don't have to, tighten that one down. I did, though. Adjustability includes the angle or the tilt, so you can put it straight vertical or tilt it towards you. And again, those adjustment screws or bolts will allow you to do that. And you can go, there's 3 different steps on the height that you can adjust it. Heavy and solid, allowing up to a 65-inch monitor and to stay completely stable. I would agree with that. I have a 42-inch Vizio older LCD that's pretty heavy, and that thing's not going anywhere. VESA support up to 800 by 400 millimeters and comes with M6 and M8 screws. And it's made in Europe, Bulgaria, as far as I know, to be exact. Price is €266 or $450 in the US. And if you do your conversion, you're going to wonder why it's more expensive in the US. And the reason is, in the US, shipping is included coast to coast. Euro shipping price is not included, and that's going to vary depending on where you're located versus where that distributor is located. Came packaged in a huge corrugate box that was majorly reinforced. Matter of fact, it was a pain in the butt to break it down, but it really kept everything intact, and I really like seeing that when I get products. I'm currently using the Next Level Racing stand, wheel stand with it, with the Thrustmaster TX wheel. Also, if you may have noticed, I have a TH8A shifter right here. This is not the stock knob, and I just wanted to make that clear. I'm doing a review of this shifter, and I wanted to see if I could go buy an aftermarket knob. Matter of fact, you might be able to see my pedals down there. Yeah, got a whole package for 20 bucks. And I'll talk about that when I do my review of the TH8, but this is not the stock shifter knob. Stock shifter knob is very similar to the TH8 RS, so if you're wondering why it looks like that, that's not the way it looks. But running that with Forza 5, by the way, and so yeah, gonna get to my review and talk about some pros and cons. Also, I'd like to mention that I was able to butt the wheel stand right up to the back or the base of the monitor stand, and it honestly added a little more stability because using this shifter and the clutch, and if I got hard under braking because I'm using that conical brake mod on the T3PA pedals, it really stayed in place. So that really helped with stability, and that's just another pro, or actually my first pro as far as this monitor stand goes. Next pro, and that's pretty much the same thing, very heavy duty, man. This thing is bulky. It was heavy. I don't know the exact weight. I'd say it's at least 70 pounds for all of it put together, but high quality tubing, powder coated black, very nicely designed. Now the next pro, the design allows you to pull your rig right up as close as you want. I mean, I have this wheel is that close to the monitor. So you can pull it right up or you can back it up if you want, but we always talk about your field of view being good or accurate and getting as close as you can to make it feel like you're in the car. This monitor stand really allows for that. Next pro, ability to tilt the monitor so you can run it fully vertical or tilt it towards you. I have it fully vertical right now. So if you have a lower rig, like they're talking about, you can use it with their formula rig, you can tilt it forward so you get a little bit better field of view, and I would think that would really come in handy. Stable. I told you I have this 42-inch Vizio. This thing's a tanker. It's an older, I don't know, this thing's about 6-7 years old at least. And I'm very confident in the stability of it. Where I was talking about that older stand that they made, man, if I just went like this, that thing was going. It was falling over. This thing, I could have an earthquake in this house, which thankfully up here in Washington we don't have those, but I could have an earthquake in that thing. I would feel confident that it would not fall, unless it was like a really, really bad one. But anyway, very stable design. Next pro, probably compatible with every rig on the market. I would imagine that you could fit just about any rig up underneath there. Like I said, I'm using this next level wheel stand, and as a matter of fact, RSeat sent me their RS1 rig, and I'm going to be testing that rig with this stand in the upcoming weeks, so stay on the lookout for that. But I would say it's compatible with just about every rig on the market. Just because of the design, you can slip anything under there. And the Final Pro comes with all the hardware to mount different types of monitors and to make all the adjustments and obviously assemble it. So there's that. And now few cons, nothing major, but and speaking of nothing major, had some scratches. I don't know if that was from packaging or shipping, but just some minor nicks and scratches. But I mean, just looking at it, I don't see them from here. I think they were in some locations that didn't really matter to me. But that is a con. Nothing major and doesn't affect, obviously, the design or the stability. Next con was in the instructions, and I have them right here. Not very detailed. Doesn't tell you, and I got some footage of me, when you're putting the uprights together against the crossbar, it doesn't tell you the direction that they go, and then it shows an incorrect direction of where the holes are drilled. Supposedly the holes for the uprights, the upright adjustability, were supposed to be on the back side, and they were actually on the front side, which then had me assembling it backwards. Once I flopped the two posts that go down into the base, everything was fine and gave me that adjustability. So con is, the final con actually, is that the instructions are not as detailed as I would have hoped, and they're incorrect. I have talked to Mihail at RSeat, and they are going to fix that, so in the future that shouldn't be a con. But just so you know, if you're buying one of these, just make sure you assemble it and line up the uprights with the holes in the base so you get the upward, up and down adjustability. Otherwise, you're going to be like, wait a second, if I did it the way that it looks in the instructions, it's going to be off. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I'm going to put on the rev scale here, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Sure, it's a little pricey, almost $500 here in the US, but you know, I've said it on the show many times, you get what you pay for. This is the best monitor stand I have ever tried or ever worked with. I'm confident that it's going to be stable, my monitor's not going to fall, and the ability, due to the design, to pull your rig up underneath it the way I like to where your wheel's right up against the monitor, man, it's awesome. I really like it a lot. It's cool looking, it's got the black powder coating, and honestly, I can't think of anything else I would want in a monitor stand like this. Adjustability, tilt, up and down, so I highly recommend it. Again, it comes at a pretty steep price. Obviously, if you're close to one of the distributors in Europe, it might be a little bit cheaper for you, but it's one of those situations where you get what you pay for. I mean, yeah, sure, you can go to IKEA or your local furniture store and get a, you know, some kind of stand that you could, you know, put your monitor on, but it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be as stable as this. It's not gonna survive an earthquake like I think this one could. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you've enjoyed my review. I'd like to thank Mihail at RSeat for sending me this monitor stand. Also gonna do, like I said, the RS1 rig. Should have that up in the next couple weeks or maybe sooner, hopefully. And come to our website, got a link right here, and you can click on it or just visit us at isrtv.com. We'd love to have you there. Check out our forums. If you're new to sim racing or have questions about this monitor stand, other peripherals, or you want to ask me about the TH8A shifter that I'm trying out, come and join us there. Also, join us on Facebook and Twitter. We'd love to see you there. Got links to that here on the bottom of the screen. And that's going to wrap it up. I'm Darin Ganji for Inside Sim Racing. I'll see you guys next time.